Now, the Black Business Council says the calls by the Minerals Council, SA, for the CEO of Transnet to be removed is anti-transformative. Now, the Minerals Council say it wants Transnet CEO Portia Derby to be removed and saying that the state-owned company is declining, but the BBC says it stands behind Derby as she is working on transforming not only the company but the economy as a whole. To speak to us more on this, I'm joined by Kganki Matabane from the Black Business Council. Thank you so much, Kganki, for joining me this evening. Of course, let's cut to the chase. You are saying that the Minerals Council SA's call for the Transnet CEO to be axed is fueled by anti-transformation stance. They have an anti-transformation stance. Why do you say this? And let's go into detail with this.
Good afternoon, Baron, and the viewers, and thank you very much for having us. The calls for the CEO of Transnet to be removed started when she decided to open the market for new entrants. And I will explain. So what happens? There are allocations at the port, and currently the allocations at the port are only given to the big mining companies, which are members of the Minerals Council. And since 1994, which is 29 years into democracy, the space has never been open to new entrants. Government has given black people, female-owned businesses. They've given them mineral rights, prospecting rights, and mining rights to mine different types of minerals. But unfortunately, what is happening now? For example, if you have a coal mine, you cannot sell your coal to, especially if you are selling it outside the country, you cannot sell it to the customers directly, because you don't have an allocation at the ports. So you are forced to sell it to the big mining companies, and they determine the price and everything else. So the structure of the allocations at the ports is still reflecting the apartheid structure of pre-1994. And once Portia started to say, let me open these allocations for coal, for iron ore, for manganese, let me give 25% of that to what is called junior miners and small companies, black companies. Then they start, Mineral Council, which is known for its anti-transformation stance, started the calls. And remember, the Mineral Council has been taking government to court in implementing what is called once empowered, always empowered. So they are saying if you are a mining company, you've got the B partner sells their stake, you must continue to benefit as if you've got the B partner. And that is anti-transformation. So they are happy to keep the status of the ownership of the economy sort of looking like pre-1994. So that's where our issue is. We're saying they are raising this issue because they don't want to see transformation. And they want to get rid of her so that a new person comes, the new person won't be able to pursue the same transformation agenda that Portia is pursuing. So that's where we're coming from.
So you're basically saying that the Minerals Council is just trying to have this monopoly on Transnet at the moment, and you want that to change?
Yes, we want those people who are given mineral rights, who've got mines as we speak, because people were given mineral rights 1995, 96. They now have mines as we speak in South Africa, but they can't sell those products anywhere else except to sell it to the people who own the space at the ports, which is unfair, because then they control the price. The poor people won't be able to make enough money like the big mining companies. So what we're appealing, we say, let there be transformation. Well, this year, we're 20 years after passing of the legislation of broad-based black economic empowerment. And it's important that we need to sit and say, let's look at the entire economy and see where do we still have market concentration, where do we have opportunities for people to enter. And the challenge is that these contracts at the ports, for example, they are like 10 years, 20 years contract. So once they are given again to the very same Mineral Council members who are big companies. We'll have to wait another 20 years before we can try and bring new entrants. So that's our issue. And that issue needs to be taken up with all the people who are involved, with the mineral councils. We've spoken to Transnet, and then that's what we're going to push.
Yeah,
and we think that's not unreasonable to ask for. It's only 25%. We're not even talking about 100%.
So it's 25% that you are asking for, and this expansion to take place. Also, how important is it for you for this to happen so that more jobs can be created? Is that also in the outlook for you?
Yes. Remember, you cannot keep on running the economy with only 10% of the population and expect it to grow. And hence we are sitting where we are sitting. There's no growth because majority of the people are excluded from participating in the economy. And then that also is very dangerous for the democracy, because when you have many people who feel like they're not part of the economy, they don't own the economy, what happened in 2021 July is likely to happen again, because people who are excluded and who don't feel like they're part of the economy, they've got nothing to lose. So if someone calls them and say, let's go and render the country ungovernable, they'll come and do it. So you need to make sure that we include the majority. And remember, it's unlike in Europe where you are trying to include the minority. Here you are trying to include the majority, who are basically posing a very serious risk into democracy, because if they feel excluded all the time, that they can render this country ungovernable, and that's not what we want.
Yeah, very important point there that you mentioned. Of course, I have to ask you, NERSA's 18.65 tariff increase that they gave Eskom. How is this going to affect not only just black businesses but small businesses in general? But how important is it for you to basically ask questions and, if you can, fight this?
Yes, the decision is very, very much unfortunate. We are sitting where, firstly, there's no electricity, so we're forced to pay for something that we don't have. The increase is for something that is not even available in South Africa. But the big challenge is that because of unavailability of electricity, a lot of small businesses are closing down. And a lot of small businesses are the ones that are actually creating employment. So what is likely to happen and what is going to happen is that the 70% youth unemployment that we have now is going to increase, because most of these young people who are employed by small businesses. So as they close down, the economy is going to shrink. The unemployment rate is going to go up, and poverty is going to increase, which then means that other social ills like crime and others will go up. So if it was us and who were considering the application for Eskom, we shouldn't have given them the increase. Eskom should find an alternative funding mechanism, probably through National Treasury, so that they can get the money to do maintenance and maintain the power stations, fix the current power stations, so that we can at least have electricity and stop load shedding. But unfortunately, this development that happened with the increases is not good for the economy.
Thank you so much. Of course, Kganki, always a pleasure chatting to you. That is Kganki Matabane from the Black Business Council. We have